everyone, this is Elena and I'm back today with another card video. For you this time I'm using the Flourishing Phrases stamp set and die set from Stampin' Up. Actually I'm using the bundle. So and I'm using some wood shades from Arcwood. I'm gonna die cut this flourish from the woodshed, and with the magic of YouTube I've already done that. So next is just to remove all those little pieces that are on the leaves and the flowers, because this is pretty detailed and intricate die. So I'm going with the scissors tool, and then I'm just going with a little poking tool to remove all those. I was afraid to not damage the wood with the tool and kind of break it. Cardstock is more kind of durable than the wood sheets. So I have a few more left, and now this will be ready to go. And I already have my card base. I've used some wood grain textured cardstock. This is not Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use the thank you phrase from the same stamp set. I already pre-cut my strip on which I'm going to stamp the sentiment. And I use basic black cardstock for that. Next I'll use my Misty to stamp that sentiment straight. You can use Stamp-O-Magic, but I find it much easier to use my Misty when I'm stamping, even with cling mount stamps. So I stamped that on top of that transparent sheet, so that way it will be easier to position my strip underneath and kind of secure it with my magnet. So I'm positioning that and securing with a magnet, and you notice I did with white craft ink so I can see it on the black cardstock. So next I'm removing that white ink and I'm using Versamark. I'm gonna stamp it couple times so I have nice impression. So next I'll use copper embossing powder. I've transferred my embossing powder in this little containers from the container store, so it's easier to kind of apply it instead of having mess all over the place. Next I'm just heat setting that to melt the embossing powder, and you can notice how it gets shinier when where it's melted. So that's done. And next I'm using just some Swiffer wipe to remove that powder from the embossing tool. So next I'm positioning to see where I want that strip to go, and I'm gonna remove it. And since I'm using basic black, I'm gonna use some basic black ink to kind of sprinkle some drops onto my cardstock, my card base, and I'm just spritzing a little bit with water so I have a little bit dissolved, like something to more liquid to spritz on, and I'm using some wetted paintbrush. So I'll let that dry, and next I'm going to use some copper thread. This is from the Stampin' Up! New catalog. I'm really glad that they came out with the copper. It's just so pretty. So I'm just kind of making it in a circle, not perfectly, but just kind of scrambled like in a little swirl. And then I'm gonna use glue dots to secure that, and I make sure that I add the glue dots where that strip will go, so you're not able to see the glue dots or stick your card somewhere. So next I'm gonna add here this flourish, and I'm using the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just adding where like the wider areas are. So I'm just adding little dots along the whole length of that flourish to make sure that it will be adhered nicely onto my card base. So the wood grain cardstock is, I purchased it a couple years ago from LCI Papers, and I purchased a whole pack. I think there's 50. So next I adhered the flourish onto my card base, and I put on top like my clear block, so there's something heavy to press that down and adhere it nicely. Next I'm gonna adhere my strip, and underneath I'm positioning my grid paper for my Misty, for my mini Misty, so I make sure that that strip is lined up perfectly. So I'm using the squares as a guide to line that up. So there is that one, and next I'm using some copper sequins. I think it's called bright copper sequin from Lucy's Little Things, and few of the beads and smaller sequins, and I'm gonna use the fine glue from Stampin' Up that I've already transferred in this like fine line bottle, because I left it open and the tip kind of got clogged and I was not able to unclog it. So I learned my lesson. I had to purchase these bottles so that glue doesn't go to waste. And I'm adhering those bits there. So next I'm positioning the smaller beads, the smaller sequins, where I want them to be, and few beads. And I'm gonna go again with the fine line, the fine tip liquid glue, and adhere those down. So with this